Thanks for being with us. What can you tell us about the events that unfolded last weekend?
So last weekend, in November 1st, we had one of the guardians of the forest from the Arariboia Indigenous Reserve here in Maranhão State in Brazil. We had one of our most important guardians of the forest assassinated. His name was Paulo Paulino Guajajara, and he was with his cousin when he was ambushed by 5 gunmen. His cousin...
Go ahead.
Yeah. So his cousin survived the attack, and this is why we know everything in such great detail. So those 5 men just started shooting from without any notice, and Paulino couldn't react. His cousin ran away from the next village, the next indigenous village called Aldeia, and then he was cleaned and taken to an hospital.
We're hearing about an increase of violence in the Amazon. What can you tell us about that?
So the increasing of violence in the Amazon goes hand in hand with the economic model that we have for Brazil, which is an economic growth going for the agribusiness sector. So the indigenous reservations, they are rich. They're very rich in not only in land, but also in natural resources and for mining purposes. So what they denounce is Bolsonaro's rhetoric in the advances or invasions in indigenous territories goes side by side with that economic model of infinite growth.
So are you anticipating more of this type of violence?
Yeah, we see more of this type of violence since 2019, since he took office, and which is something, it's not that it just began, it's only that it's getting more and more often, and the attackers, they feel emboldened by such rhetoric. So we definitely anticipate more attacks of such nature.
So is it likely that this assassination and increase in violence is going to prevent the Guardians from the work that they've been doing?
Definitely not. The Guardians are very courageous. This is not the first time they face violence, because for them, the economic activity of illegal logging or illegal mining is a direct violence towards them. So their plight to protect the forest is not only to protect the forest, it's not only a ecological side of activity, because for their worldview, the protections of the forest is the protections of themselves and the way of living. So as long as they're alive, as long as they're there, they will protect the forest with everything they have.
Well, we'll have to leave it there, but we appreciate you taking some time for us here today.
Thank you for having me.